So I thought I'd introduce you to my amphibians. I have a couple of axolotls and a cane toad, which I will show you shortly. But these are my axolotls, so I've had these two for about 5 years, I guess, maybe 6 years actually. They're pretty easy to keep. It's Pinky and Peachy. Pinky is a normal kind of albino, and Peachy is the golden type albino. So they came from some Polish guy up in Blackpool, I think. But they are pretty easy to keep. They like cold water, so don't need heating or anything. They're like quite still water, although I've got a pump in here. Actually, they probably need cleaning out. As you can see, I kind of moved them into position to film them, disturbed a load of stuff on the bottom. Yeah, so they're quite impressive, and they've done really well. Seem quite content with their little lives. They have spawned for me actually, like every year for the last 3 or 4 years, and they actually produced an absolute ton of eggs, but they've actually got babies at the moment, so I will show you those in just a second. But yeah, this is a proud mum and dad, Pinky and Peachy. Peachy is kind of really pretty, covered in kind of glitter all over his body, really quite impressive actually. Not really picking it up under these lights, but yeah, they're pretty cool animals really. They obviously are the larva form of a salamander, so they don't turn into salamanders, although you get 1 in so many thousand that actually do turn into salamanders, which is a pain. But mostly they stay in this kind of aquatic stage, so they're yeah, pretty cool. So these are the babies. So the first year I had babies, I left them all together and they were doing really well, started to grow, and I kept looking in and thinking, seems to be fewer and fewer babies. Apparently they're cannibalistic, so I ended up with one quite large axolotl baby with no siblings, but he kind of disappeared. I have no idea. I don't think he would have got out of the tank I was keeping him in, but he probably just died and shrivelled up or something, quite sad. But apparently what you do is you leave them in together until they've got their first legs, and then you should separate them into individual pots, and then that stops them kind of eating each other. So yeah, so I'm going to do that this time round. The second time around, I just left them all in with mum and dad, because I didn't really want 1,000 axolotls to find homes for or whatever. And then mum and dad ate them, so that was the second round. So this lot I'm going to try, because I want to keep a green one. This one I think is going to turn out to be a natural kind of green colour. There are a few white ones which I assume are going to be albinos in there as well. So at this stage they're eating Daphnia. So you see the little pink things that are floating around are Daphnia, or what's left of the Daphnia. They've actually munched down on a hell of a lot of them. So yeah, so the adults I feed lobworms. They're bloody expensive actually, lobworms. They breed them for angling, so you can get them from angling shops, but I get them from eBay. But they're actually quite expensive. I'll have to look to see if it's easy to breed them. I don't think it is, but they don't get through that many. They kind of get one a day. I also supplement them with the axolotl pellets that you can buy, and they'll take them, but they're a bit daft. You literally have to put the food in their mouth, otherwise they just don't seem to be able to see it or whatever. So I have no idea how they survive in the wild. In fact, I think they're pretty much extinct in the wild, but literally you'd have to spoon feed these guys, because they are a bit dumb, to be honest with you. But pretty cool actually. They're much cleaner than fish. They don't make as much mess as fish. They don't need their water changing quite so frequently. So yeah, pretty cool. So this is Candice the cane toad. So the cane toad is a pretty invasive species. It's taken over Australia, and they're actually got real problems with them, millions and millions and millions. But they actually do make pretty cool pets. Actually, they get absolutely huge. I wanted one for absolutely ages, and I got this young lady from exoticpets.co.uk, and she's settled in really great. This is how she usually you find her. She's absolutely buried herself in mud, and she just comes out at night. So it's quite hard to get any film of her, I'm afraid. But yeah, they like it really hot and humid. Actually, this is how big they can get, and the females get bigger than the males. But this is pretty cool. The other night I was walking past a Viv, and I noticed she had a big split down her back, and I was really worried. And then I realised she was actually shedding her skin, so I went and grabbed the camera. By the time I got back with the camera, she'd almost peeled it off. She had just like a kind of split down her back, and you can just see the top right hand, her right eye, is still covered at the moment. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So she just pulled out her skin. What they do is they put it over their heads, the entire skin, and they eat it as they're actually pulling it off themselves. So you don't find it in the Viv like a snake. They actually eat it. So yeah, so I ended up with a bright green toad. Here's her setup. She's in an Exoterra. As I say, they like it quite warm, so sort of in the top 70s, early 80s. And fairly humid. I don't keep her substrate soaking wet. I just give her a spray every day. She's got a water dish that she can hide in. So, but yeah, so she's like I say, she's settled in really well. Really hard to get any film of her because she's hiding all the time. But here she is, young lady. She has a preference for red runners, Turkestan roaches at the moment. She'll take crickets. She's not really sure about Morio worms. I don't know why, because they usually love Morio worms apparently. But yeah, she's like just like something from Jurassic Park, really. But this is Candice the cane toad. So come back and watch her grow and see how I get on with my baby axolotls. I hope you've enjoyed the amphibians. Cheers!